Guys, we're ready, go.
Morgan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I
Great question.
do. What are your goals for the new season and how are you going to help your team achieve them?
The goals for the new season, I know you guys heard yesterday, one of the things that Mr. Betts and I have talked about a bunch of times is the fact that we'd love to see a boy-girl home doubleheader in the playoffs. And I think, obviously, that'd be a lot of fun, bring a little excitement back to mainland, but beyond that, as far as goals, I don't have, the conference or, how we're gonna do in the playoffs. I really have, and I know it's not gonna be the exciting answer, but the goal of getting mainland basketball back to what mainland basketball used to be. All right, we don't have, if you guys are all in gym classes down there, there's lots of banners in the gym. There's not a ton of titles, so it's not like there's this mainland steeped in this basketball history. But one thing, if you asked any coach that's been around for 5, 10, 15 years, any of the older teachers that used to go to games, any alumni that played or old referees, they would say that mainland was always, even though they weren't winning conference titles and sectional titles, just a handful and a nightmare anytime they came in your gym, whether it was away or home. Teams didn't want to play mainland. They ran sets smarter than other teams. They outworked other teams. Typically a little less talented than some, but every team was in for a dogfight almost every night. And right now, I don't have a huge frame of reference. I have last year and 2 weeks so far this year or thereabouts. We're still inconsistent in our every single day efforts. We don't have guys beating each other up in practice enough of the time. And when we get to that level, pushing for the conference, guaranteeing ourselves a spot in the playoffs, making some noise in the playoffs, all those things will come if we're competing with each other as hard as we can every day. And like I said, I don't know the 3 years before I was there what practices look like. I do know what they looked like 6 or 7 years ago as an assistant coach and years ago playing, and they were tough, and guys that were second team guys wanted to take the jobs of the first team guys, and they would consistently just beat those guys as much as they could, and that made the first team guys even better. So just to get them back to working as hard as they can every single day in practice is the goal as far as I'm concerned. And to go undefeated and win the tournament champions. Erica.
Who stands out most as a team player this year?
Who stands out most as a team player? I don't think we have anyone that's really a selfish player. I think there's a couple guys that need to get more selfish. For anyone that's been to a game in the last 3 years, you all know who Darius Jerkins is, and Darius should get more selfish. He should probably get, 15 shots or more every single game. And I think that maybe once or twice in the year and a couple scrimmages this year, he's done that. We're usually successful when he does, but everyone else seems to share the ball pretty well. In fact, sometimes we're too unselfish. We don't step into shots with confidence that we should. We look to make, a pass on in transition when we should go attack the rim, stuff like that. So I don't think there's anyone that's exactly fits that bill, but I'd like to see everybody get slightly more selfish. And by that I mean just step into shots with confidence and go ahead and take them. I'd rather see them make errors taking too many shots and being a little too aggressive than worrying about whether they're being too selfish. Your name is?
Mike.
Mike.
Alright, speaking of Darius, do you view him differently because he could be on a list that you were part of, the 1,000-point list?
No. He'll get there, barring injury. Darius is around somewhere right around 850 points or 800 points. he needs less than what he's been averaging the last couple of years to get there. To me, I mean, it's nice and everything, and it's fun to get sarcastic with the guys about, but that's more a sign that, you know, you're a part of something that was good. I just happened to be lucky. I had the right point guard, the right big man, and nobody was too dialed in on who I was. Darius has a lot tougher go of it because everybody's known since he was a freshman who he was or who he is, and he gets double teamed, triple teamed most games. So I mean, it'll be a nice accomplishment when he gets there, but there's no club in this universe that he and I belong to that are in the same. He was a whole different special player than I ever was. So.
Hey, where you started, what teams are you looking forward to competing against more?
Well, the two best teams in our conference, I believe, are Atlantic City and Holy Spirit, and we open up with Holy Spirit. So you really get to see in those games, even though you go in as the underdog or the large underdog, exactly where you are. You know you're doing something, you're on the right track if you're competing with them, or if you happen to steal one off of one of those teams. And the second game of the season for us, Sunday night, we play Ocean City, and that one's, you guys all know, that's a rivalry game, whether it's football or saw it out on the field, hockey field this year, or swimming, or whatever it is. It's always a big deal when you play Ocean City. Everyone knows everyone. We've been playing them in one sport or another for the last however many years this building's been open, 52 now or something like that. So the first two right off the bat are great, and you know, Atlantic City, you have to throw them in. Obviously, HT is our neighbor now. Not as much of a rival as Ocean City, but that's always a fun one too. So, Alex.
Is your team more offensive or defensively strong, or does it need for improvement?
Really on both ends of the floor. I would say right now, I think the defense is a little further along than the offense, and I say that because we haven't been putting up big numbers offensively in the preseason so far. But we also haven't been giving up big numbers either. And last year, at this point, when we had been basically through our scrimmage schedule, and at least two of the scrimmages we gave up some. We played Middle Township just like we did yesterday, and they just blew our doors off last year. And I think they had 51 points in 5 or 6 quarters yesterday, which is not a bad number to give up, especially with a team like that. We scrimmaged Cape May Tech. They're fairly down as far as town goes, but they didn't even get to 30. So I would say our defense is further along, but they both need a lot of improvement, no doubt about it. Erica.
How do you feel about your team energy so far this season?
Team energy. I would say it's been really good, but for maybe 1 or 2 practices and 1 scrimmage. I'm feeling good about it right now because yesterday was probably the best that it's been in the preseason. We're without one likely starter in Kenny Randall, and another guy that's been starting, James Brennan, went down, and guys were right there, filled in yesterday. Most of the players had their best scrimmage yesterday. Thought the energy was good. We played a team that, like I said, Cape May Tech, that's not a particularly good team, and it was the only scrimmage we had in our gym, and it was dead in there. So it goes back to that being competitive every day. We're a little inconsistent that way. And it's hard to be like real up and excited and everyone rah-rah every day, but if you bring a lot of energy and effort and go push somebody around, all that other stuff sort of comes with it.